We are live. We are live. Welcome back to another episode of For M's Sake Daily. It's Thursday. My name is Neodate Evans.
And I'm Nana Evans.
And we are here bringing you the news from Parenting Perspective. In today's show, Donald Trump is making a comeback. Matt Hancock was assaulted on the tube and the nursery where children are eating poo. Very grim. And of course, we've got our parenting conundrums.
Yes.
So let's jump straight in. Your favorite person?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. So Donald Trump will be allowed back onto Facebook and Instagram after Meta announced it would be ending his 2-year suspension of his accounts. The decision to suspend Trump's accounts was made in the wake of the January 6th Capitol riot. This was when people rioted, did a revolt because of the election results, because it didn't go in their favor and Donald lost. And he told those people who were committing acts of violence that they were doing a good thing.
Well, basically that they are good citizens. He also did say, if you are going to be there, protest peacefully, although Capitol Hill had been stormed and they were climbing buildings.
Didn't he say that afterwards, though?
Looking over his tweets on the 6th, he was tweeting. He didn't say leave to anybody. He wasn't.
Which is what anybody would say, because he's like, that's an overstep.
Well,
that's an overstep.
It's a heinous crime. You can't storm. You couldn't just storm Parliament and literally Boris probably would be like, they're fine people storming Parliament, but or Rishi Sunak, if you are in charge, you should be telling people you need to get out of there. Yeah. Treat the boys in blue well. Didn't 4 of them die? Yeah,
absolutely.
This is the president really being like, guys, really?
And so obviously this was the straw that broke the camel's back. And then, he was dashed off pretty much all of the socials. And then off the back of that, I think he invested in a upcoming social.
Yeah, because he was saying this was his social.
Yeah. So the company's called Truth Social. He's on there. There's about 5 million users. I mean, how many of them are active? I don't actually know. And if you think about that in comparison to Facebook, where there's like 3 billion active users on Facebook, obviously the lure of coming back to Facebook is going to be a lot, because that's where a lot of these people are at as well.
Yeah. He knows this.
Yeah.
Definitely very effective.
And on top of that, what he will now have to contend with. So with Truth Social, he has a stipulation in his contract with them that he has to post there before anywhere else. I think it's like 6 hours before anywhere else.
Okay.
But that does run out in June. So it may be that the Trumpster is quiet between now and June. And then come June, we could just see an onslaught on all socials, because Elon let him back onto Twitter in November.
Yeah.
And
he hasn't tweeted.
He hasn't tweeted since. So I think that June this year, things are going to hot up.
He's going to come back.
He's going to come back.
And we'll have the guy making the news again as he goes viral constantly with his tweets and stuff. I mean, I wonder, who knows what's going to happen to him by June? He still is under investigation. All of his businesses are, his children are.
Really?
We don't know. Yeah, the New York, it's in New York now, so I think it would be considered a DA. Somebody is still after him. That hasn't stopped. He hasn't beat all of his cases at all. So he still has a lot to answer for taking papers, fraud. Mm-hmm. There's lots of different things. So he may not come back again. I don't know.
We shall.
And it's how he's going to come back as well.
Well, he's trying to run in 2024, right?
Will the Republican Party have him lead again? That's the thing.
I think they absolutely will. Why wouldn't they?
I don't know. I don't know if he has enough backing like he did the first time round. I don't know but who knows? It's Trump, and I don't discount him. But I feel like the tide has changed a bit. I don't think it's his time.
I disagree. I think and you know what it is? And this is what he understands, is what Boris understands, is that they understand the power of popularity and celebrity. Joe Biden doesn't have this, because Joe Biden is a politician. And I'm not even saying he's a good. I'm not even saying he's a good politician. But
he's too old now, and he's really a different old man.
And he's playing the old game of politics. You know, even to an extent, Barack Obama played the new game of politics, where he was like the shining good boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But can do.
Yeah, can do some shady stuff as well. Whereas Donald Trump is the villain that we all love, the lovable rogue.
Yeah.
And he really plays up to that. And I think where politics has kind of been quiet, or at least quieter than it was when he was in charge, people will respond well to that, because they will see this energy and think that's the energy of a powerful man, when in actuality it's probably just a lot of hot air, but people respond quite well to that.
Yeah, I disagree. I just don't think he has it. I don't think he has the appeal. And I think with Joe Biden, I think the next person probably needs to be very young. I think the way, the mood of the world is so youth focused. I don't think you're going to go from that really old to then Donald Trump, who you've had before. I just think it's not going to happen. I think it's going to be somebody new, fresh blood. But he may co-sign them. Either way, he isn't going away.
No.
He's you know, he's not going.
I'm willing to place a wager on that. I think you're wrong. Yeah.
Okay, so you think 2024 he could win?
Yeah.
Okay.
How much?
A bottle of Prosecco.
Cheap. All right. Yeah. I'm in.
Okay, let's see.
Let's see.
We've got a couple of years. It's there. I'm saying he's not going to win in 2024.
I think he's going to win.
Okay.
A bottle of Prosecco on the line.
And what if they don't actually even select him to run? That's no win as well, isn't it?
All right, I'll give you. Yeah, you get a bottle then.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll see. Moving on. I don't even know where to start with this guy, Matt Hancock. Obviously, health secretary during the pandemic, told all of us to stay indoors. If your grandma was ill, if your granddad was ill, don't go and visit them. You know, people lost loved ones, and people may think at the moment I'm laying it on thick, but I think it's really important that anytime this man's name is mentioned, that we don't forget what he did. Because I think his stint in the jungle and everything like that, that's all done to, you know, spruce up his public image. And I, for one, am like, whenever I say this man's name or I hear this man's name being said, as tired as it may sound, I will remind everybody of what he did and what he was doing.
And people shouldn't forget, because as the health secretary, we all listened to the advice that he gave when he was up on his little pulpit and saying, these are the facts, this is the science, this is what you should do, and we are here telling you this for your own safety, and blatantly flouted the rules. In an office, grabbing bunda of his then side chick, now partner. And it makes me mad, to be honest with you. Like, every time I think about it, every time I see that grainy CCTV image of him grabbing her bunda, doing little office nastiness. It's like he's also conducting an affair.
Yeah.
2 families ruined
by
this as well. While you are also telling people to social distance and not mix households. You guys were doing that thoroughly and against your partner's wishes. Like, it's absolutely crazy. But then to, you know, only resign, still an MP, and then court the media, I think is disgusting.
Yeah, absolutely. So this man who did all of that was traveling to work the other day on the Underground, and he was accosted by a member of the public who was filming him and was angry over the same things. Because of the same things. I don't know too much about the man's background, so I don't know if it's, you know, if he directly lost somebody during the pandemic or whatever. But because of this and the way that he did it, he has been charged with assaulting the former health secretary. My biggest question in this, I saw the video, and I don't necessarily agree with how the man approached Matt Hancock, despite everything I've said. However, the burning question in the front of my mind is, why is Matt Hancock getting the tube?
Yeah, I would think that Matt Hancock should know that he is high risk. And as politicians, MPs know now, like, because there has been a couple that have been killed, you have to take it seriously when you have people, because he would be getting hate mail every day.
Yeah.
So to be going on public transport, that just seems like a safety risk to everybody around you as well. And you have access to funds to not have to do that. So this, he's courting the media again. He's constantly always like out there trying to get a little bit of press.
Yeah.
And I think this is just wholly irresponsible of him.
It's
unnecessary.
The police are investigating the incident, and he wasn't seriously injured. And one has to ask themselves, like, what's the point? What is the point? Sorry, that said, the guy did also approach him a week before. This was on the street. So it could be that this is a bit of a stalker. But then also,
again, isn't that like I shouldn't be out in public by myself because I have this stalker? Because
then what if this stalker is a proper crazy and you're in a public place and he does something unspeakable,
stabs you, shoots somebody else,
but then there are bystander, because even in that video there's a woman who's like asking the man not to do what he's doing. But so what if now, and she may not even like Matt Hancock herself, but just in the same way that I watched it was like, you probably shouldn't be doing that. It's just like, you know what, allow it. But then what if something happened to her? And that's all, in my view, down to Matt Hancock trying to act like he's a man of the people. Trying to still be like, no. Forget all of that. I'm on it. Even so, he's standing, obviously, because after he came out of the jungle, then he's stripped of obviously being a... And so now he stands as an independent, but he said next election he's not standing. And he said that he's going to find other ways to engage with the British public. So you're clearly here for clout and celebrity. It's short of what you're like. That's what you're saying.
You can be of service in lots of different ways, and very few people know you or hear from you, and you can still be helping. Matt Hancock just loves a little bit of fame, and we've got to. He is absolutely annoying, but the fact that people are after him, keep that to yourself, dude. Just get in a car places. But I have no sympathy for him at all. It's like, God. You and me both. Yes.
Also, talking of people that I have no sympathy for is the people who run the Kidspiration Nursery in Manchester.
This story is crazy.
It's in, when you read a story, then you got to read it again because you're like, I don't even understand how this even happens. In 2023, I don't even know how this happens. So, Ofsted have closed down Kidspiration Nursery, which is based in Gorton in Manchester, because it put children in, quote, significant danger. One disgusting excerpt explains how kids were ingesting each other's excrement.
Gross.
It reads, when some staff change children's nappies, they fail to notice that feces have leaked onto surfaces that children have access to. This results in younger children putting feces into their mouths.
Why are they just changing kids willy-nilly, not in a changing area, for one? The clean-up protocol after you change a child in a nursery is usually quite extensive, so that you are cleaning all surfaces because kids touch everywhere. So the fact that they're not doing that is like, I would love to hear from some of the parents who had kids in that nursery, actually, what type of things were the children coming home with.
The thing that I don't understand is that when I was at school, granted it's not nursery, but when I was at school, I clearly remember when we were having Ofsted inspections because everything in the school was ramped up by 10, if not 100, right?
Definitely.
So, number one, when you're going to have an Ofsted inspection, okay?
Yeah.
Number two, the Ofsted inspector is there in the school. He's there.
Generally, when Ofsted is around, everybody is on their absolute best behavior.
So for you to be in a situation where there's an Ofsted inspector who can see you changing nappies and see that you don't...
You haven't cleaned up properly. There is poo there. And there is a child there.
So what are you doing when he's not around? This is the worst.
It's actually scary to think though, because they're little kids and most of them are not going to be able to talk about what took place in the nursery. So, as the parents, you're just beholden to them really looking after your child. And you don't know, you're not watching all the time, and you're just lucky if they're coming home in one piece.
Yeah.
By all accounts, from what he was saying, it's like...
Well, it goes on. The inspector sent out to review the nursery even had to step in at one point when he saw youngsters putting pebbles and sharp pieces of ice into their mouths. Like,
this is zero care. This is literally
it's almost like he's describing feral children.
Yeah, so we're just collecting money and the kids can just run around, because it really is, what are the nursery nurses doing? What is the structure of play? Why are they playing on stairs?
Imagine
anyway?
I'm paying £1,000 plus a month for my child to be in a nursery, and then I find out that they're eating excrement
or climbing on stairs, and well, that is in the face of Ofsted as well. So Lord knows what has taken place, and they've just managed to get away with it.
Well, there's more. The review adds he had to inform staff of a significant risk when children were climbing and leaning over a banister on the stairs. The inspector had to deploy himself at the top of the stairs to stop children from falling over the banister. This poor practice puts children at unnecessary risk. In all 5 categories assessed, the nursery was rated inadequate.
Yeah, sounds like it. It sounds horrifying. It's quite scary to think, because again, when you're going to pick a nursery, you go around, you do the tour, but once your child is in there, it's hard leaving them anyway, let alone reading stories like that.
It's hard leaving them. It's hard paying the monthly money. And it's going to be even harder to find out that you're paying all of that money and there is no care given to your child.
I wonder if some people will sue.
I mean, if that was me, I'm absolutely suing, and I'm absolutely making sure that this nursery never opens up again, and I'm actually making sure that whoever's running this nursery never works again. Like because
they can keep on changing and they can open up in different places.
The way I'm going to be so vindictive is I got the energy, I've got the petty for that, because you can't be running a nursery like that. So I hope that the full force of the law comes down on these people, because their behavior is absolutely
really
disgusting.
Lucky no child has really been hurt.
Yeah,
that's
it's a wonder that a child hasn't died.
Yeah.
And imagine again if your child is there and they're coming home like, oh, mummy, I don't feel well, all of these things, and now you're realizing, well, it's probably because you're eating poo.
Yeah, not being cleaned properly. Oh God, beggars believe.
Yeah, so that
Well, that concludes all of our stories.
Yes.
So
let's move on to our parenting conundrum for today. Okay. We're going to have to do this really quickly. I don't even think we have time, actually. We're going to have to wrap it up because our camera is about to die on us because it's plugged in.
Really? Okay, so we'll do two parenting
conundrums tomorrow.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow with a camera that is powered by mains and not a battery.
And follow us on all the socials.
Cheers. Bye-bye.